Hi all, today we are going to discuss the concept of the power swing and its effects on different type of impedance relays. Because in the last few classes, I have discussed the effect of the power swing. So there you may get doubt why the locus of the power swing is coming like this. So that's why I want to briefly discuss about the power swing analysis here. The detailed complete analysis of this power swing we will discuss in the power system. So here my target is to tell you the basic concept why the locus is coming like that. So for that, I am taking a transmission line having two sources. Let us assume there are two sources. The first generator is having the ZA, it is making an angle of delta, and let us assume the impedance of this generator I am representing by ZA, and here I have kept my relay. So this relay measures the value of the IR as well as what is the voltage at this point, the voltage that is at this point. So this is my relay location, whatever the relay you are using. So let us assume this transmission line is having an impedance of ZL, and in the second side also it is connected to another source. So this source I am representing by some ZB having some angle 0. That means with respect to, sorry, this is not ZB, right? This is EB. So having some value of EB at an angle of 0, or the relative angle or relative phase displacement between EA and EB is delta. So that's why I am taking like this to make the analysis easy. So let us assume the impedance of this generator I am representing by ZB. So your relay is at this location. So the relay location is here. So relay is measuring the voltage as well as the current at this location. So now because of this transmission line, the value of the current that is passing will be, the current will pass from source A to source B when your angle of source A is greater than that of the source B. Agree with me? So we can tell that it depends on EA minus EB divided by total impedance will be equal to ZA plus ZL plus ZB. Remember, all these things are the vectors. So this I can write as EA minus EB divided by this total impedance I am representing by ZT. So ZT is the sum of ZA plus ZB plus ZL. You agree with me? So now I can tell the impedance seen by relay. So this will be equal to Z is equal to V divided by I. You agree with me? So this will be equal to voltage at the relay location. Voltage at the relay location will be voltage at point A. So please change it as EA, right? So this is at EA. So the voltage will be equal to the value of EA minus the current that is passing through that multiplied by ZA divided by the current passing through this. So current will be equal to I. Let us assume I is passing from point A to point B, that I is given by EA minus EB by ZT. So based on that we can calculate. So this I can further simplify. So this value of Z, so from this the value of Z will be equal to EA divided by I minus ZA. We can write it like this. So this will be, so let us take this one as equation number 1. So from equation number 1, so I am substituting in this one. So this will be equal to EA divided by current from equation number 1 is ZT divided by EA minus EB. So that is the value of current we got. So the current I can substitute as EA minus EB, and ZT will come in the numerator minus ZA. This is the equation. Getting this one? So let us assume if EA leads the value of EB by some angle delta. Let us assume it is lagging by some angle delta, and the ratio of EA by EB I am representing by letter N. So now let us take it as equation number 2. So from equation number 2 can be represented in this form. So I can divide by EB on both numerator and denominator. So this will become equal to EA by EB times of ZT divided by EA by EB minus 1. Getting this? I have taken the EB as common from there. I have brought it to numerator. So this will be multiplied by ZT minus ZA. So equation number 2 become like this. So this will become equal to EA divided by EV I have represented by N. This will be N into, because they are having the angle also, delta also, because any phasor we can represent as the magnitude multiplied by e to the power of j theta. So we already know, so e to the power of I theta in some books, e to the power of j theta is represented in some books. So this can be written as N into e to the power of I delta divided by N into e to the power of I delta minus 1. So this delta is the phase angle by which the EA is leading EB. So if it is lagging, then it will become minus. So that is the only difference that comes. So second one we are taking as a reference. So this will be multiplied by ZT minus ZA. So in this equation, so what I am doing, let us take it as equation number 3. So by keeping N as constant and varying delta gives a locus. So gives a locus of something. So let us see how the locus will come. So for constructing the locus, so I am just constructing the Rx diagram first. So the Rx diagram we have seen already. This is my R, this is my value of X. So let us assume my transmission line impedance I am representing. So let us represent my transmission line impedance here. So this is my impedance of your transmission line. So ZL. So this is my impedance of the transmission line. So for this ZL, we will add the value of ESA. So ZSA, sorry, this will be ZSA. So this is my location of the bus bar where you are measuring. So again at this point, I will add the value of ZSB. So ZSB is in the second side. I have added the value of ZSB. So your total impedance will be sum of all these impedances, because ZSA, ZSB we can take as purely reactive. Agree with me? So let us keep the bus bars as, so this is ZA, so this is A and this is bus bar number B. So I am keeping the same notations here to make the analysis easy. So this is my value of some A, this is my value of B. Getting this one? So now your total impedance can be obtained by taking this entire curve or joining this entire curve together. So I am joining the tip of ZSA to the tip of ZSB. So when you project the tip of ZSA to ZSB, you will get this value. So this one, this value indicates my value of the total impedance. This indicates my value of the total impedance. So these points I am representing by some small letters. Let us take this one as A. Let us take this one as point number small b. Agree with me? So this indicates the total impedance of your line. So now for different values of n, by varying the value of n, you will get the different values of the locus. So if you are keeping n is equal to 1, so if you are taking n is equal to 1 and plotting the locus, you will observe that that value will vary. It will intersect at some point, at a point equal to the total impedance divided by 2, because this is called as the electrical center of this line. That means center of this ZT. That means the length AB divided by 2, that will intersect at this point. So that locus will pass through this one. So that locus will pass through this one. So this is for the case of n is equal to 1. So this is for the case of n is equal to 1. So how much angle it will make? It will make an angle of 90 degrees with respect to ZT. So for n is equal to 1, locus makes an angle of 90 degrees with respect to the line AB. With respect to AB. So this is the first observation we have made. So now for the value of n greater than 1, for the value of n greater than 1, how to plot this one? So that one, what you have to do, you have to take your Rx diagram. So let us represent that value of AB. So whatever value we got here, so it is plotting like this. So same thing I am drawing here. So this is my value of small a, and let us assume this is my value of small b. So this total value is equal to ZT. Agree with me? So for this ZT, you have to just extend this line. So remember here I am just discussing briefly, I am not seeing the detailed analysis. Detailed analysis we will make in the power systems. So here I want to just briefly explain you how it comes. That's why I am discussing these things. So this one, from here you make a distance of ZT divided by n square minus 1. ZT divided by n square minus 1. At the distance, that will be the center point. So from this point, the radius with which your locus will come, that radius will be, so let us assume I am drawing a circle. This circle will come like this. So the circle can come something like this. So sorry, because I cannot draw the exact circle here. Drawing is little bit difficult. So some circle will come like this. So circle is having the value of the radius. So the value of this radius, so this radius of this locus, so this will be equal to n times of ZT divided by n square minus 1. N square minus 1. So this indicates the locus for n greater than 1. So if your value of n greater than 1 is there, that circle will come something like this. So I am drawing here. So it will get a circle like this. This will be the locus. This will be the locus for n greater than 1. So how n greater than 1 came, I have explained here. So for the value n less than 1, what you have to do? For n less than 1, replace n by 1 by n. You have to just replace n by 1 by n in the above equations to get the radius and center from point A. So from point A you have to take below, and accordingly you will get the center. With the center you have to draw a circle. So if you draw a circle, you will get your value of the locus will be something like this. So this type of locus will come. So this is for the value n less than 1. So in this way the locus will come. So now let us take the example EA is equal to EB, that is n is equal to 1. You can see the locus is passing like this. So let us see for different relays how this is going to affect. This is my R and X diagram. Let us implement the different types of relays for the same characteristics. So this is for the case of the impedance relay. So let us assume the characteristic of your line. So this is your fault characteristics. So it will trip for this region. Agree with me? So now coming for the case of reactance relay, the reactance relay, because I have to protect up to this point, because this is the value of the Z set. So this is the value of Z set. So accordingly the radius came. So I am just drawing it here. So this will be for the case of reactance relay. And now if you are taking for the case of Moore relay, so Moore relay will be somewhere here. So Moore relay characteristic will be, it is from this one, it will vary, the circle will vary like this. So this will be for the case of Moore relay. So Moore relay, generally the radius will be taken from the center of this characteristic. So I was not able to draw perfect circle. So now coming to the locus. So locus of this power swing, we have seen the locus of the power swing will be, this is my locus of power swing for EA is equal to EB. That means for the case of n is equal to 1, it will come something like this. So you can see here for the case of impedance relay, it is covering more area when compared to the Moore relay, but for the reactance relay, it is covering the maximum area. So we can tell from here the reactance relay most affected because of the effect of power swings, and then comes the impedance relay. Impedance relay medium, because some part is covered within this circle. You can see it is covering from this point to this point. So this is the locus of the power swing. So now coming to the Moore relay. So Moore relay is least affected by your power swing. So this is least affected. Why the reason? Because the amount of this power swing that is covered, only this much distance is covered. So it is least affected when compared to all type of relays. So I hope that how the power swing is coming and how it is going to affect different type of relays are clear to you. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.